producer Mark Nielsen. Producer Jonas Rivera.
Yeah.
Director Josh Cooley. Christina Hendricks, voice of Gabby Gabby.
Yeah.
Tim Allen, voice of Buzz Lightyear. And Keanu Reeves, voice of Duke Caboom.
Yeah.
All right. Everybody comfy? Everybody ready? How about you guys? They've been working all morning, and here we go. Here's some more fun. I heard you guys talking backstage. This has been a 4-year journey, 5-year journey? Tell me about that and how you're feeling about it finally coming out.
Yeah, it's been 4 or 5 years. We've got a crew back at Pixar that's been working on this, trying to craft it. You know, it's a Toy Story movie. We love this. It's in the DNA of this place. We knew it had to rise to the level of the other ones, and so we just put our kind of blood, sweat, and tears into this, as did the crew of about 250 people back at Pixar.
Wow. Christina, Keanu, talk to me about joining this established, beloved family that is Toy Story.
Yeah, it was a great honor to be invited. For me, I was really excited. I knew I wasn't going to be able to work with Tim and with Tom, but I knew that working with Pixar and being with these characters and these performers, that I was getting a chance to be a part of something that's legendary. And so I was really excited. And Pixar gave me a great character with Duke.
Yes.
So it was really fun to be a part of this story.
And it's good that we wrote Tom out. This is a big surprise, but thank God Woody's finally out of the movie. One time we said sayonara to the cowboy.
Tim, he's still in the movie.
Right. That's embarrassing. I didn't see the final cut. I just saw the part that I did. So is he still in the movie?
We showed Tim. We cut him off about 10 minutes.
Oh, wow, that is awkward. I love Hanks. No, this is the best part of this whole thing is the new guys, the new women, the new stories, the new characters. It really is the coolest part of this, to see this whole family rise up. And I said this over and over again. There's a theme park at Disney World based on this movie that we started 25 years ago. I saw it at I saw the original Tensor Lamp at film school done by John Lasseter, and I love that computer animation. I saw this done to a terrific story that Pixar came up with. Back then, one of these guys, and I love that story. I love this story so much about how they get not family values. I don't want to make it like that. It's just such a warmth of this, and this one. Gosh, if you guys haven't seen it, if you have seen it, you see what it is. It's rich and thick and great, and Buzz is so good in this.
Yes.
How did you get here, Christina?
Yes, go Christina. Tell us about joining as Gabby Gabby, and such an in-depth character with so many layers and so many emotions.
I know, she's so lovely. I like that. You know, I think when children see this movie, she comes across as sort of like the villain at first, and then you realize that she's coming from a very loving place, and I think that's important to sort of say, like, maybe you don't like someone at first, but maybe how did they get there and why are they there, and understanding their story. So I think she's very special in that way, and then she sort of gets embraced by the group, and then it's about support and I honestly thought that. It was a joke that they asked me. I kept thinking there were like 3 other people up for the same thing.
Yes.
I was super excited.
That's awesome. Okay, now I want to throw it out to you guys. See who out here has questions. I'm sure you do, right? All right, who's up? We've got microphones. Okay, here we go. Right here on the second row in the middle. I saw his hand come up first.
Wow, the pressure's on. So, Tim, you have been Santa Claus, you have been the commander in Galaxy's Edge, never give up, never surrender, but for generations of people, you will forever be known as Buzz Lightyear. How, in your mind, has the character grown and evolved?
Well, it's funny to watch this whole transition. At one point, Woody, because he's mean, yelled, "You are a toy," and I had to transition from he was always been wonderfully ignorant about who he was, that he was a toy. But his transition has always been, okay, that was a terrible moment for me. Let's regroup. And Buzz got to be the same. His core has always been this little authentic kind of soft-hearted, but no heart at all. And you'll see in this movie, it's kind of weird about that when Woody has this inner voice. I think it's the sweetest part of this movie that I don't understand that whole thing. I love this ignorance, or not, it's not ignorance, he's innocent. That's a better way of saying it. Mm-hmm. And he's just one of his best friends. And you'll see through this thing, that's the journey through this thing, is how cool of friends these guys are.
Mm-hmm. Next. Got a couple right in the row behind.
Just throw the mic at them. If you can catch it.
Hello.
That was a horrible idea. It's a good thing.
First, I tell Buzz this every time in the parks. He's my all-time favorite character. So now I have to tell you, not Woody, not Mickey, you.
Nice.
Oh.
Where's Hanks when I see him? Thank you so much, even though my statue's over by the men's room. Woody's at the beginning of the park. It didn't come out of me.
I also wanted to ask, a lot of us thought Toy Story 3 put such a perfect bow on the trilogy. How did you feel about doing 4? I think a lot of people were surprised 4 was going to happen. How did you feel about stepping back into his Space Ranger boots and directing a 4th to what's already a perfect trilogy?
Who you asked me?
Anybody.
I thought you're directing.
Oh man, we had the same questions everybody else has right now, which is, wait, I thought you guys were done. Mm-hmm. And so, but we had those questions 5 years ago when we started. It was, your question was like the responsibility and tons of responsibility, tons of pressure, a lot of sleepless nights knowing that we were going to attempt this, because we love the end of Toy Story 3 and feel like that's the completion of Woody and Andy's story, but there was more Woody story to tell, so how we approached it.
Well, so this one's not the last one either, is it?
What?
Well, we sort of joked that we thought Toy Story 2 was the last one. You know, we finished that one. We thought that one was the end of the story. And how we approached this was, to echo Josh, the end of Andy's story and Woody's story, but Woody is the protagonist. This was the final chapter. And as filmmakers, to be honest, we sort of feel like we feel satisfied that this is where you could end it. Now, there's an implied future to all these films, and we sort of never say never at Pixar. But as storytellers, we're satisfied with this as the closing of the chapter.
You don't just need a vacation, a nap, and then come back. And,
Who knows? For tomorrow.
I need both of those. Yeah.
You need both of those. Okay, who's next? All right, right here. Or right behind you, actually. There's one. Yep, good.
Okay,
And say your name, guys, when you start. Yeah.
okay, good morning. My name is Glenn from Jawa Post Daily Newspaper from Indonesia. I want to ask to Keanu. So, Caboom is such a unique character because he's badass, he's confident, but at the same time, he's also goofy, he's also crybaby a little. So,
What's wrong with that?
so Keanu, how do you get into his character? Or let's say, how do you unleash your crybaby side after being a badass John Wick to crybaby?
I think that all of the characters, and I think this is what's really cool about Disney and Pixar and Josh, all of the creators of the stories and the characters themselves and the performances, is that I think we can identify, there's so many different kinds of people going through different things. And Caboom just happened to be a crybaby, and super with a big heart and brave, who loved life, and so I think that there's a bit of Duke Caboom in all of us.
Hey, do you just want to pass your mic to your left? Oh, you have one. Go. Shoot.
This is for Keanu and the producers and director. As one of the few Canadians here, I'm very happy to see some honorable representation in this film. Thank you, Keanu. My question is, was the plan for Duke always to be a Canadian and wear the Canadian flag?
Yes.
All right. And,
Day one.
and that's why Keanu was perfect for the role?
You know, yes, that, and also when we cast these roles, we don't want to see faces. We have a casting department, and they bring in a bunch of recordings, and so we say turn the headshots over. We don't want to see who the person is. We just want to hear the voice. We don't even know who we're listening to. And so we'll listen to a bunch and who's that, or who's that? But right away, I think we grabbed a clip was that from? One of your movies we grabbed and we're listening to, and we all went, whoa, who's that? Who's that?
Who's that crybaby?
and they said this Keanu Reeves, and we're like, that's perfect. And we're just so grateful that Keanu agreed to.
There's a lot of great Canadians that work at Pixar too, and they all volunteered to animate all of the Duke Caboom shots. So he's mostly animated by Canadian animators.
Wow.
The Maple Leaf crew.
Yeah, the Maple Leaf crew. We hung the flag on Pixar when we were shot briefing that sequence.
So how did you get Gabby going?
Great question. We realized we'd never done a doll before, just a regular, like a doll. And we all have daughters, and so we look at our own kids and their toys and our toys for truths, and I just love the idea of kind of talky Tina / chatty Cathy-ish, and then also just that she'd be like the Godfather, like having minions. That to me, I was like, we've never done that, so that's one of my favorite scenes.
What I can't remember. Didn't Lotso's henchman baby?
He had Big Baby. Yeah.
Did Big Baby make a noise?
He made a weird vocalization.
Baby noise, I think. Yeah.
He was a crybaby.
He had some nice eyes too.
But Christina, I may remember this, not entirely accurate, but when we first sat with you and we were talking, we pitched Gabby a little bit like Norma Desmond or Lost in Time and all this stuff, and we were showing you stuff with the dummies. Did I remember what you said? What did you say?
I thought you guys had done like weird background research on me, because I actually have a ventriloquist doll in my office, like in the house, that I wanted my entire life. Every year I would ask my parents for this Charlie McCarthy ventriloquist doll, and they were like, "You're weird. We're giving you a baby doll. You're never gonna get it." And then as an adult, I finally got one, but I was like, "Oh, how did you guys get in my mind?"
It's so funny because I think we were pitching it, saying something like, and of course, these dummies that are awful and that no one would want. And you go, "No, I'd have one."
And we're like, okay.
We're like, we love her. That is Gabby Gabby.
Making dreams come true, even with your cast. There we go. Okay, right here in the back.
Oh, hi. Over here. Heather with Los Angeles, NBC Los Angeles.
Go for it.
We loved Duke Caboom so much. Everybody was laughing at your character. You were having so much fun with this role. Also, you had a really funny part in Don't Call Me Maybe. Are we going to start seeing more funny roles from Keanu Reeves?
I hope so. I mean, yeah, I hope so. But
the next John Wick, he does stand-up. And he literally kills the audience. That's what I do. Come up with, silly, that's kind of what I do. Jokes like that. They're not all winners, people.
It seems like you were enjoying it so much. I think that we would just...
It was a great role. I mean, it's a great role.
Okay, who's next? Do we have the mic with someone already, or passing it on? There we go, in the back.
How you doing? My name is Daniel with Midway Mayhem, and this question is for Keanu. You're known for roles where you show your face a lot, and now you've done one where you're a voice actor. Can you tell me how that kind of has influenced you as an actor or maybe future projects?
I think in an odd way, you're doing the same thing, right? I mean, you're finding the emotion of the character, the timing of the character, and the voice of the character. I would say for us, we don't get to, and I think that's really cool about the film is how they physically embody, right? Like Lightyear's movements, and Gabby Gabby's kind of thing. right? I mean, you kind of just feel like you're finding the emotion, the timing of the character, and it's really the same thing in a way that you're doing if you're not doing an animated project.
I will add to that even when you're doing the poses, like you're really doing the poses there on stage as you're doing. It's actually physically taxing.
I mean, like when I was playing Duke Caboom, like to get into character, I would like go Kaboom. You know, do you go like to infinity and beyond, like to get into the spirit of it?
Ad nauseum, because I've literally said that. When that shows up on a script after 25 years, they say, and you see the last line, yeah, I think I got that part. But they have me say it again. You know, there's only so many ways.
I know, but is that like a fun, like if you have to find the character?
I find myself doing this a lot, reaching for the lasers and all that stuff. Yeah, it's just like you said.
You know what this is though, and this is why we love this cast so much. They're so effortlessly skilled at this. We look for people at Pixar, and this goes back from Tim and the original, that don't come to it to do a cartoon voice. People think as actors, like, oh, you just do a voice, or what kind of voice do you want? And we just want the truth, human character that they bring to it. And so it's just such an honor to work with you guys, because we got to see it every time we'd be in the booth, just pure acting. And I mean, we're in a booth at Pixar, there's nothing to look at, we have nothing to show, and yet they can dig down and just breathe life into these characters. And so I just wanted to add on to that, because we're just so honored to be able to work with them. They breathe so much life into these films. It's awesome. Thank you.
Did you guys do all of your voice work together? I mean, solo, or did any of you work together?
We had Tom and Annie working together for a lot of their scenes where they're back and forth, and Key and Peele worked together as well.
Oh yeah.
Perfect.
Those sessions were very hard to sit through.
So there's never like Buzz Lightyear and Woody never.
Oh,
you guys
what?
never.
We didn't get any work done.
I pitched I pitched this, and I still say it. I'd love for a benefit for one of the children's hospitals to have all of us do the movie, read it, even half of it. All of us just to sit in the room together, all of us read this thing. I think it'd be fabulous to do a cold read on it. You know?
Yeah.
Next.
Right here.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Catherine.
Hi, Catherine.
I'm with Kids First. And so it's amazing that the first Toy Story movie came out 24 years ago, and yet there are a core group of actors and characters that all star in the Toy Story movies. So this is for everyone. Like, what do you do to help make new actors and new characters feel like they belong?
That is a great question. Well, I'll say with these toys, the new toys in this film, we looked at the toys that we grew up with, and the ones that we played with. If you look at the original Toy Story, some of those are kind of more classic toys, like Slinky and Potato Head and stuff. So we went more to the 70s and 80s in terms of toys, and then just tried to figure out characters that weren't just there on the screen just to be characters, but actually helped the story move along and supported Woody as much as possible. But we're also entertaining as well. So it's a great question, because it's really hard to do. We love Toy Story already, and then to try and introduce new characters into this and go, hope you like these characters just as much, and you know, hopefully you do.
You don't do it just for the fun of it. Gabby Gabby, for example, the story would not work without Gabby Gabby. She's an echo of Woody, and we needed her to be this legit and real and truthful human character. The same thing for Duke Kaboom and Giggle and everybody knew. So they're not just for fun, although we love them, but this movie wouldn't work without them, and that's kind of our metric.
You know, it's kind of funny, if you did the Deadpool fourth wall thing, actually, there'd be a lot of Buzz Lightyears out there.
Yeah.
He sold so well over the 25 years that Buzz would see kids walking around with his costume on and Woody, and it's kind of weird.
Thousands of
them. Sorry I brought that up.
Okay, right here.
Hi, I'm Banksley from Attractors Magazine. And can you talk a bit about the process of keeping the memory of Don Rickles alive and bringing back Mr. Potato Head for this film?
Yeah, I mean, we love Don. He's been such a huge part of these films all the way back to the very beginning. And we had signed him on to be part of the project before we lost him. And kind of at the request of his family, and it was an idea we had been talking about as well. We wanted to see if we could craft a performance from all the incredible sessions we've had with Don through the years. He recorded for theme park rides and toys and commercials, short films, feature films, a lot that we hadn't used before. So we were honored to really be able to kind of keep his memory in the film and our editorial department did a great job really creating his performance out of his own voice from past projects.
On the front row.
Hi, I'm Ira from Four Hats and Frugal. I have a question for Christina. I am a huge Mad Men fan, and I loved that you were able to take on a role that was just as powerful as Joan. Is there something in you, or did you pull maybe from tackling that character and having to embrace the vulnerability of both of them, yet the strong, powerful female part of that when you took on Gabby Gabby?
I think that every woman has that vulnerability and strength within her, and so I sort of approach probably everything I do in a little bit in that way. That's maybe why you guys called me. I don't know, but I just think, like they were saying earlier, all of the characters in this movie are so well-rounded, and that's such a sweet thing about this character, is that she's not just one thing, and she has got this strength even though she's a baby doll. So it was a joy to sort of bring all those sides to her.
Thank you. Who's next? Just pass it down. Here we go.
Hi. So my question is for Christina as well. Well, I liked how Tim was mentioning, the female characters that you added to Toy Story 4, and that's something that I really enjoyed as well. And so, Christina, when we see the previews of Toy Story 4, Gabby Gabby's portrayed as this really creepy doll, and then she eventually evolves in the movie. Is there something that you want the little girls to get out of your performance, and from Gabby Gabby, what message do you want to send to them?
I think that ultimately that you have to listen to everyone's full story before you make a judgment about them, and to hopefully not make a judgment about them. I think that's the lovely thing that she brings to this part of the story, is that everyone comes from a place, and it's what made them who they are, and you need to listen to that before you can fully understand them.
Have you guys seen the movie, the finished edit? You have? What was your first reaction? Did you guys cry like I did and my family? How did you guys react to the whole thing? We laughed, we cried, ran the gamut.
Yeah, I'm too close to it. I said, this is through the process. And then I'm always, because I'm an old filmmaker, and I love the computer generated part of this. It gets better and better and better. I just like just the look of it was stunning. And then, as I've said many times, I read through it, and then the end kind of was mercurial, and then I read it, and it was so bold, and I wrestle with loss in my family and loss in my life, and I'm an old philosophy major in college, and I just losing this kind of stuff, losing and gaining. It's like the sadness. Number 4 was like a daughter getting married, perhaps. There's great sadness because she's leaving, but great sadness because she's also gaining something. And that's what this is about. And I told Tom the same thing when he hadn't read it and I'd finished it. I had a real tough time. But I have a lot of other baggage about losing things and how this whole world is. And I just loved how they felt. The beginning is emotional. And they trick you with this little emotion thing at the beginning. You get sucked into it. And then Caboom is so funny. These guys, everybody new is so wonderful to watch. The part of me going, well, where did I ever show up? And it's back to the same beauty of the way these monstrously idiotic great writers come up with this story. It's so
Thank you.
Yeah, it's just wonderful. It's great writing. That's what it is.
Tim, we should. I haven't told you this, but we actually used your reaction a little bit as inspiration when we met and recorded and walked you through that ending. Your reaction was like our first receipt, because we realized we were throwing the ball pretty far with going to that ending, and we were hesitant. Even at Pixar, we were kind of going, "Can we do this?
Yeah, should we do this?
Should we do it?" And when you read it, and we were talking to you, and we saw him kind of recoil back, like, oh man, okay. We could tell it hit you, and we thought, if we can get Tim Allen, like our Buzz Lightyear himself, to sort of sit back and ponder it, maybe we have something there. So that was kind of you didn't know it, but you gave us our first kind of receipt that might be the right story math.
Well, it's good to know my pain is prop up other people's misery. That's
I hesitated telling it, but I had to.
Glad you brought that up.
Okay, do you still have a question? Just pass the bullet.
Hi, John from BigFatPanda.com. My sister told me that if I didn't ask you this, Tim, she would disown me. And I believe her. Of all the years of voicing Buzz, is there anything memorable, whether emotional or blooper from the sound booth, a session that you remember? That's memorable.
I can't, and I love kids, kind of. I like families, but my comedy for 20 or 30 years is not for children. So sometimes my memorable things is saying stuff that Buzz would generally not say. After a long day of doing the same thing over and over again. But the classic to me is when I would ad-lib. And it's not like Robin when he did Aladdin. When I ad-lib, it's not a happy moment for the animator. They'll go, oh God, that was funny. God darn it, that was funny. Which means they got to go back and reanimate. And, Miss Nesbitt, when I got drunk on Darjeeling tea, and I'm holding my own arm in my hand. I think I can't remember why I lost my arm. And I said, is the hat too much? Is the hat too much? And it's under my breath as I walk out of that scene. It was hysterical. They left that in, and when Woody goes, "You are a toy," and I said, "You are a sad, strange little man, and you have my pity." Again, animators going, "Oh, damn, that's funnier than what we wrote." Those moments are great to me because early on they give it to me. Lately, they don't. They just, Tim, read it as written.
I read opposite Woody. Since we didn't have Tom and Tim together, I'd read the Woody lines against Tim, and your ad-libs, that was some of the most fun of the show. So funny. Well, it has to be a G-rated movie.
Okay, the lady with the Duke Caboom t-shirt, yes?
I'm Amanda from Crazy Amanda Reacts, and Keanu, we're talking about all the movies you were in this year, John Wick and Always Be My Maybe, and now this, and you're having somewhat of a Keanu sense, like revival, Keanu sense. So I just wondered how you felt about that revival.
Revival. Well, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be having a revival. And thank you.
Okay, back here. Yes.
This is for Tim. Tim, it's 25 years. Did you anticipate this when you first played Buzz Lightyear, that there'd be sequels on land? Maybe, reflect on that a little bit.
No, similar to when my life began with Home Improvement, I never thought about the future. I just thought about, can I get through this? Can I finish this? Because I had no idea what the results of that would be. And the same with Toy Story. This is a very difficult process for me to do these movies because I don't get to work with the other actors, and it's just difficult. I have a hard time doing this. It's not the easiest thing. And to do one was, I can't believe we got through this. I hope everybody likes it. I hope that you appreciate what these guys have done. I loved it. I never look forward past that. It was great. Number 2 was an amazing occurrence. And then I look at it like I'm my own Mickey Mouse guy. And Mickey Mouse, I don't know why, and I told these guys, I don't know why we don't do a Pixar Mickey Mouse movie, but I like the fact that this is a series of stories. And when I saw, I think Buzz and Woody were on a pencil eraser at McDonald's or something, I said, as weird as that sounds, we've hit a high mark when you become an icon. That I never thought of that. Never occurred to me, and I'll say it again. There's a theme park out here.
Yeah.
A theme park. I love theme. There's a theme park, and a really, really good one. Yes. And a really spectacular one that's about this movie we started in 25 years ago. I can't describe except I'm honored and humbled to be part of this thing.
It surprises me that you say it is a difficult process for you because you make it all seem so easy, Tim. What was your preparation and how did you get through it so seamlessly from our perspective?
I was trained went to film school, and then my electives, I did radio a lot. And I was trained by some of the best voiceover talents, and I was the voice of Chevrolet for a while, Kodak, what was the other one, Kraft Foods and all that. I would do voiceovers. And I learned by some of the better guys could make my Republic Bank, where I do my bank, and I'd read it sound like, Republic Bank, try to do your thing. And some of the better voiceover people said, you got to live those words. It's a very different world, the voiceover talent world, which is kind of strange. I'm in this middle world. Those people are not excited that actors got into this business. They were trained as voiceover talents. And some of those guys, Paul Frees comes to mind, they rose to a level. And I loved that process. So that's the world I come from. When I started acting, to combine those two, I love working with other actors. Doing voiceovers, it's all about the director. And they bring it out of you, try to get this way, but they do honor the process when these guys let you just go and then find who Buzz is. What I will say, the last of this, is I've gotten to a point where I can't believe I'm saying this, where I'll go, Buzz wouldn't say that. I'm telling the people that created this character that I get kind of huffy. I don't know. Buzz doesn't get that excited, and he won't say that. I'm going to get some sliced pineapple.
He's earned that right, though, hasn't he, guys?
Well, absolutely. And I actually love that he says that because it helps us craft the character better. He knows better than I do. He's been doing it for 25 years. So, I love that we work together.
It's funny, because I don't even really think of it as a voiceover. I mean, actually, my daughter Ava says it the best. She always asks me, Daddy, who speaks for Buzz? Who speaks for, that's how she said, who does the voice? I always say it's the best way to say it. It's like, yeah, you speak for Gabby Gabby. Like, it's not doing the voice for Duke, it's that they speak for them. I just thought it was actually a beautiful way to say it. So I credit my daughter for giving me the right mental model. Well, I don't know if you guys agree, but I think that's the right way.
Oh, last question. Okay, right here in the plaid.
Guys, I'll make this a real quick question. Been bothering me kind of for 25 years, and now staring at him up there on the screen. What kind of haircut does Buzz have?
Oh. Buzz cut.
He has alopecia. He has patterned baldness. That balaclava that he wears. It's for fireproofing. No, actually, he's got a beautiful head of hair underneath there. It's rather curly, and he's got a man bun.
Nice way to end it. Okay,
Yes.
guys. Give them a round of applause. Producer Mark